ZBCN, XRP, XLM, XDC, HBAR, QNT, all ISO compliant projects, all exponentially undervalued projects. ZBCN more undervalued than XRP and XLM, HBAR, for example. But I think, the future is very bright for these altcoins. And we're going to be diving into why ZBCN, if you're XRP, XLM, HBAR holder, why you should, look into ZBCN, do some research on it, and why, it could lead to, massive upside for you as an investor in this space that is also looking for more opportunities, more utility projects, more altcoins that have, the power to be successful and change the previous financial system, the previous banking system, traditional finance system as we know it, right? This diagram that we're about to dive into is from Captain Zach on X. He did an entire write-up on his X, on his tweet right here on his X account, and you guys should definitely give him a follow. It is at Captain Zach ZBCN right here, so you guys could give him a follow. Very very great insight on the project ZBCN and what makes it stand out and why it could be as successful, in the leagues of success, if not more successful, not to put down any other project, but to be as successful, if not more successful, than, some of the top altcoins in the space. And, again, could be as successful as XRP, XLM, HBAR in the future, right? So why the stack wins? XRP, XLM, ZBCN, the real global payments takeover. Most crypto tries to be everything. This stack doesn't, right? It does exactly what global money needs, and each layer stays in its lane. That's why it works. Let's break it down. So XRP, we already know XRP, bullish on XRP, Ripple. XRP is like the ultimate retail friendly coin. Anytime people talk about crypto, you talk to just regular folks across the world, they're always bullish on XRP. They love XRP. If you take a look at the content creators, you take a look at the meetups, everything that you see XRP related, you could always see like a lot of engagement, right? A lot of people tuning in. Even this cycle, XRP was one of the only coins that made, an 8x to 10x move from the lows when, 95% of altcoins did nothing. XRP actually made a move, 8x move this cycle when, this was the weakest bull run for altcoin history. It was one of the weakest bull runs for altcoins, right? No liquidity whatsoever, very restricted liquidity. Even so, XRP still did well, right? So XRP institutional settlement, built by Ripple. XRP isn't chasing retail hype, bank liquidity, cross-border settlement, high volume transfers, regulated corridors. This is the wholesale rail. XRP moves large money between financial institutions fast, cheap, and with finality. Think of XRP as the internet bank, the interbank engine, the backbone connecting major players globally, not flashy, mission critical, right? So with XRP being the backbone of interbanking, then you have XLM, global access for on and off ramps. XLM also did well this bull run, right? This cycle, it made like a 4 to 5x move from the low, which isn't bad at all, right? There's a lot of coins that did not, all they did this cycle was just bleed against Bitcoin, go down, down, down. XLM did a 5x move, right? Not as much as XRP, but still a great move, right? Especially if you have size. If you had like, $10,000, $100,000, you get a 5x on that. That's 10K to 50K, 100K to 500K, right? So XLM solves the hardest problem in crypto, getting real world fiat on and off chain. It's designed for local currencies, remittances, financial inclusion, anchors plus compliance, emerging markets. XLM is a last mile connector where XRP handles big institutional pipes. XLM handles everyday access, converting local money into digital rails and back again, right? So now that we have the gist of those two projects, this is where ZBCN fits in, right? Real-time PayFi plus distribution built by the ZBet network. This is the missing layer everyone overlooks. ZBet doesn't just move money, It distributes it in real time. It powers continuous payroll, contractor payouts, treasury flows, cards plus instant spend, streaming payments, seamless payments as well. You know, I could add that in there, and business pay-fi, right? So this is where crypto becomes daily life, not trading, not speculation. Rent, groceries, salaries, businesses. ZBEC turns settlement into usable money. Now, a lot of people in the space, you know, at first, you know, the thought process was Bitcoin was going to be, you know, a transactional system where you could buy and sell things with Bitcoin. It's too slow, it's too expensive. So then it switched to the narrative of a store of value, right? Bitcoin is now a store of value because it's too slow and too expensive to transact. That's fine. Well, here comes ZBCN, XRP, XLM, ZBCN specifically, the ultimate tool for RWA projects, unlocking a multi-trillion-dollar industry, instant settlements, instant payments with cards, instant spend. You could literally, you know, use crypto as Bitcoin was intended to be at first, before it became, you know, just a store of value. You could use ZBCN in that way, right? That is why it's so bullish, because again, look at the industry that it's unlocking, right? You know, the diagram showing how all of these things would be connected, all of these projects would be connected. So this, from, you know, step one, we go from the payments, right? Movement to the moving over to the payment transformation through Ripple, payment sent, payment solutions, right? Then we move over to the banks, right? That is very interesting, very bullish stuff to see. And then right here, why this combination is unstoppable. Each network solves a different bottleneck. XRP moves institutional value. ZBCN delivers money to real humans instantly, right? XRP, bridges, XRP moves institutional value. XLM bridges fiat to crypto locally. ZBCN delivers money to real humans instantly. No overlap, no redundancy, no ego, just clean architecture. Traditional finance is slow, and this is where these projects come in, and this is why crypto is so important, and this is why crypto is, in my opinion, the future, right? The new financial system, you know, years from now, you know, your kids, your grandkids, etc., all of us will be using crypto, and it's going to be so seamless and frictionless. A lot of people won't even know they won't even know they're using crypto when they're actually using it, right? That's how it, you know, that's how much it's going to be integrated into our society, in my opinion, right? So the big picture, XRP handles the banks, XLM handles the borders, ZBCN handles the people, right? Global rails, real utility, real takeover. That's not competition, that's coordination. And this is such a great diagram. Once again, shout out to Captain Zach, ZBCN, for this diagram and breakdown. You love to see, man. You really do love to see that, right? So, update from the ZBEC network. Super app goes live on the 25th. Make sure you guys pay attention to that, because when the super app is live, it's going to be a crazy time. Live streaming in the platform, access to your, you know, silver and carbon cards, stream payroll, staking in the platform as well. Very awesome stuff, right? ZBCN right now sitting at 0.002 in price, just under 205 million market cap. Someone mentioned to me that the final unlock will be sometime soon, but it's not even going to affect the price that much, because it's only 2% left to unlock. So again, the full unlock of supply is going to be so fantastic for, you know, the overall project here. It's going to be bullish for the overall success of ZBCN. And again, unless Bitcoin goes to, you know, under 40K, I don't think ZBCN is going to come back to these lows, right? Under 0001 or 0008 308 201 308. I don't think it's going to retest those unless Bitcoin has one more drop under 50K, under 40K, because a lot of people think Bitcoin goes to 35K this year, right? Or it goes to 40K, 45K. I'm not sure where the bottom will be. I don't know when the next cycle will start. But whenever it does, it starts, right? The best thing to do now is to start DCAing into projects that you're bullish on. Be patient, patiently DCA, take it slow. And then when we're bullish again, when the overall macro is bullish again, when liquidity is in the market again, retail interest comes back, you know, the interest rates for the Fed are below, are very low. The Clarity Act is passed. That's when you start to reap the benefits. But you're supposed to start buying when it's peak fear in the market, which it is, right? You're supposed to start buying when there's peak fear in the market, which it is, and then you take profits when we get into greed or extreme greed, right? Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share the videos, join my Discord. Link to that is in the description. And also support the Clips channel, right? To support the overall brand of the Crypto Spaces brand, right? Supporting the Clips channel helps, the main channel a lot. So go subscribe to that, watch some of those videos as well. And I'll catch you in the next one.